Hello children, Sai Ram. Welcome back to our social studies class. Children, in our previous session we had already started with the chapter number 19, the struggle for independence. So today we'll continue with the same chapter. Let's have a quick recall. Evil practices in ancient India and social reformers, these two topics we had covered in our last session. Children, there were social evils which were practiced in ancient India and many were pertaining to women. So first here we have is female infanticide. That means deliberate killing of a newborn female child. A boy child was accepted willingly, whereas the girl child was ignored. And the reason behind this were poverty, dowry system and many more. Next here we have is child marriage. The girl child was married off at the age of 5 or 6, whereas the boy child was married off at the age of 10 or 12. And next here we have is the image of sati system. Children, sati system was practiced in some of the northern parts of India. A widow was forced to sacrifice her life by sitting on the funeral pyre of her husband. And this system carried for many and many years. Children, likewise caste system, dowry system and many more evils were practiced in India. The rise of Indian nationalism. Children, this topic is linked with our previous chapter, that is chapter number 18, the British Raj and the First War of Independence. And here are the few points which I have jotted down. So we saw in our previous chapter the British traders entered India for trading. Okay, and then slowly and steadily British started gaining control over entire India. And then British started ruling India. They forced or they compelled Indian farmers to grow indigo and cotton, wherein these were the raw material they used to carry to Britain. They used to convert it into the finished goods and brought it back to India for selling. And British also imposed heavy taxes on the Indian goods. And the laws and decisions which were made by the British, they were beneficial for them, but it was harmful for the Indians. The farmers, workers, traders, the Indian soldiers, everybody were unhappy with the British. So there was a widespread discontent among the Indians because of the British rule. All the people came together, got united and started to fight against British. And this fight led to the first revolt. Now children, along with the rise of the social reformers, which we saw in our previous session, there was also a rise of Indian nationalism. Okay, so the revolt needed people realize the injustice that the British were doing to them. Then people felt how valuable the freedom is, and most affected were the educated people, because the educated people of India, the educated people of India became more and more unhappy and dissatisfied by the way British governed India. Okay, Then the educated people, and some of the English men, who supported Indians came together and formed Indian National Congress. The educated people and some of the Englishmen who supported Indians came together and formed Indian National Congress in the year 1855. And children, this Indian National Congress had its first session in Bombay. Where did the Indian National Congress had its first session? In Bombay, which is now in the present it is called as Mumbai. And after the first meeting at Bombay, then they met at different cities every year. See children, this is the image of the first session of Indian National Congress which was held at Bombay. And after this, many sessions were conducted in different cities. But at first session, the Indian National Congress did not raise any kind of question regarding Indian independence. In fact, they wanted to bring the reforms or changes in the Indian society. That was their first concern. So they did this because they wanted Indians to lead free and a better life. So some of the important leaders of this first session, that is of Indian National Congress, were Dadabhai Nauroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale and Umesh Chandra Banerjee. Dadabhai Nauroji was a Parsi intellectual, educator, cotton trader and an Indian political leader. He is also popularly known as the Grand Old Man of India. He is associated with this title because of his immense contribution to India's freedom struggle against the British Raj. Next here we have is Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Gopal Krishna Gokhale was an Indian political leader and a social reformer during the Indian independence movement. Children, he was a senior leader of Indian National Congress. And next here we have is Umesh Chandra Banerjee. He was an advocate of the Swadeshi movement, and was also a co-founder as well as the first president of Indian National Congress. These were some of the important leaders. They were also called as moderates. Now children, what do you mean by moderates? The people who demanded reforms, or the leaders who demanded reforms in the society so that the Indians could lead a more free and a better life under the British rule. So these leaders were called as moderates. Now apart from this, there were several other leaders who did not believe that they should take a soft approach, because moderates were very soft. There were some other leaders who did not believe that they should take a soft approach. They felt that they would gain nothing by following such a soft approach. So these people were called as extremists or radicals. So who were extremists, children? The people who believed in a stronger and more active opposition to the British and wanted Swaraj, that is self-rule for the Indians. Okay, children, repeat along with me. Here we have the statement: extremists or radicals are the people or the leaders who preferred a stronger and more active opposition to the British and wanted Swaraj, that is self rule, for the Indians. Okay. So, some of the important leaders of this group, that is of extremist or radicals group, were Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, and Lala Lajpat Rai. So, these three people belong to the extremist group who wanted to protest more strongly and more actively. Okay. Now, children, let us know in detail about all these three important leaders. And here we have is Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay. He was born as Keshav Gangadhar Tilak. Okay. He was an Indian nationalist and an independence activist. He was also given the title as Lokmanya, which means accepted by the people as their leader. He said, "Freedom is my birthright and I shall have it." Okay. So, what did Lokmanya Tilak say? Children, repeat along with me. He said, "Freedom is my birthright and I shall have it." Okay. And in 1892, okay, in 1892, Lokmanya Tilak brought the festivity from homes to streets of Pune. So, children, which festivals are they? Do you know? Even today we celebrate those festivals. Yes. The Ganesh festival and Shiv Jayanti festival, whereas Ganesh festival was brought from homes to pandals. Okay, because at that time public, social and political gatherings were banned by the British. Okay, that means public, social and political gatherings, meetings were not allowed. So, children, why did the British ban these meetings? Do you know? Yes, because the British did not want Indians to gather and plan against them. Okay. So, gatherings and meetings were not allowed at that time. So, these festivals served as a meeting place for common people of all the caste and communities. In fact, he also started a newspaper named as Kayseri, which openly spoke about the injustice which was done by the British to the Indians. Now, children, what was the objective behind all these activities, that is celebrating the festivals together and starting with the newspaper, and he even gave the speeches on the radio. So, what were the motive? What was the aim and objective of these all activities? Okay, So the main objective was to invoke patriotism among the Indians, okay, and to create the feeling of unity among the people against the British. And the main goal of this newspaper, that is Kayseri newspaper, was to make sure that more and more Indians join hand in this freedom struggle. Children, the next leader here we have is Lala Lajpat Rai. He played an important role in the Indian independence movement. He was popularly known as Punjab Kayseri. Okay, so he was popularly known as Punjab Kayseri. Okay, and the next leader here we have on the screen is Bipin Chandra Pal. Bipin Chandra Pal is known as the father of revolutionary thoughts in India and was one of the freedom fighters of India. Okay, he was one of the freedom fighters of India along with Lala Lajpat Rai and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay, he belonged to Lala Lajpat Rai, Lal. Okay, and Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bal, and Bipin Chandra Pal, that is Pal. So these three leaders, that is Bal, Pal and Lal in short form, that is trio, that was associated with revolutionary activities. So children, these were the three leaders, that is Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal and Lala Lajpat Rai. Okay, these three leaders belonged to the extremist group who wanted to protest more strongly and more actively. Okay, so that's it with our today's session, children. Let's have a quick recall about what we studied today. The rise of Indian nationalism. Here many educated Indians realized that the British were doing injustice to them, and many prominent leaders such as Dadabhai Nauroji, Vomesh Chandra Banerjee and Gopal Krishna Gokhale, they came together and they formed Indian National Congress. Okay, and apart from this, the important leaders, that is the extremists such as Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai and Bipin Chandra Pal. Okay, these three leaders gave immense contribution to India's freedom struggle against the British rule. Okay, children, in our next session we shall learn more about the partition of Bengal and the Swadeshi movement, activities of the revolutionaries and World War I and after. Okay, children, do read the textbook. If you don't have, then just download the textbook from the link which is given to you and do solve the worksheet. Okay, till then, take care of yourself. Goodbye.